Hi everyone, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence Scardino. The week begins on Monday, September the 16th. It's a fairly active week astrologically wise. There's a lot of activities, a lot of opportunities. The big theme is that Saturn, the planet of karma, of seriousness, the taskmaster. Saturn has a lot to do with career, responsibilities, security. Saturn can delay and slow things down. Saturn has been retrograde since the end of April, as it is every year, and it's going direct on Tuesday, the 17th of September. This is a yearly occurrence. Saturn will represent, career, business, security, all the things I was listing. And when it retrogrades, whatever Saturn has been trying to teach you, or the lessons to mature and break through, in the retrograde, it's going through more of an internal process. It might be more subtle, or you just can't figure out what is holding back all your goals and accomplishments. On the 17th, on Tuesday, Saturn is no longer going retrograde. It's very slowly beginning to move forwards. Like a Mercury in retrograde, it takes time to catch up to speed. But at least the Saturn is no longer internalizing everything. As the weeks move on, the Saturn is starting to open up and bring more progress, more movement in whatever Saturn represents in your chart. Overall, Saturn are the lessons of maturity, security, career, responsibilities, and where it might have felt more daunting, slow, and stuck, there can now begin some more movement. Now, let's start with Monday, however, on the 16th. The moon, which sets the emotional tone for like 2.5 days. The moon's in fiery, ambitious Aries, but it's in a hard angle to compulsive, controlling Pluto. So you could get caught up if you're being impatient. That's that moon in Aries. And there could be some ego conflicts. Or you're being too restless and trying to push a square peg into a round hole. And so patience. Tuesday, not only is Saturn starting to just begin to move forwards, the moon has shifted into a sensible, stabilizing Taurus for those next couple of days. Taurus loves routine. Taurus is excellent with the sun still being in Virgo. They're all earth signs, good for business, good for feeling more grounded. Wednesday, the moon now is going to be in harmony with Saturn and Mars and Pluto. All three of those strong planets are in practical earth signs, business-minded earth signs. So this is a very good day, even Tuesday, but especially Wednesday, excellent for accomplishing projects, starting a new job, attracting new work projects, having business meetings. Thursday, ambitious Mars in earthy Virgo is going to be in harmony with powerful Pluto. And this energy is strongest Thursday. It's certainly going into Friday, maybe twice a year. This can be where you can, that Mars with Pluto, you can tap into a lot of unrelenting ambition and drive. On a more mundane level, Pluto can be dealing with overhauling, construction, repairing, breaking down, transforming. The Mars is that planet of activity and repairs and ambition. So this can also be a time of being very ambitious and driven, and there's this compulsive energy towards success. But this is an excellent period, this end of the week, from house repairs to construction, but also for doing even a lot of inner work, because Pluto also rules psychology and our inner psyche. It certainly gives you a lot of courage to really go for your goals in life. As we get to Friday, you still got that courageous Mars-Pluto influencing us. Now the moon is in Gemini. All the ideas are abounding. Then Mars can get, or the moon in Gemini, very good for socializing, for its communications, ideas, being restless, wanting to interact socially, especially as it's in harmony with relational pleasure-seeking Venus, and also with communication Mercury, and triggering optimistic, expansive, traveling Jupiter. Friday night is a good night to go out to a party, enjoy yourself with friends or loved ones. As we go into Saturday, that moon is still in Gemini, still very favorable for doing a lot of networking and connecting. But expansive Jupiter is going to be in a hard angle to Neptune. So Jupiter is pushing on expanding the energies of Neptune. Neptune is this selfless, charitable, healing energies. Jupiter to Neptune in the positive can trigger a lot of compassion, empathy, wanting to help those in need, doing a lot of volunteer work. So it can be a very spiritual awakening energy, very inspiring energy. On the downside, got to be careful to keep your feet firmly planted on the ground, because this can be very heady, very idealistic, very grandiose dreams and expectations. If you just keep your feet firmly planted on the sensible ground as your head is in the lofty clouds, this can be very productive to dream big but sensibly. Sunday, discerning, decision-making Mercury is going to slam up against realistic Saturn. So not to fear. If you started to expect a bit too much that might be a bit unrealistic, you're going to have somebody close to you or somebody that you respect by Sunday letting you know this is not possible. You need to get more realistic and you need to cut back. Or the worst case scenario is you really went for it in Saturday, and by Sunday you're starting to realize there's a real pushback, and this is you need to rethink your plans. The key to this is just moderation, common sense, being sensible, and maybe by Saturday, if you're getting overly excited, is ask for some feedback. Before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for the one question offer for a nominal fee. Time of birth is always important if you have it, and if you can put your birth information again in with your question, it will just make sure I have all the information accurate. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, have a great week.